Who are you most likely to work with? Answer: men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Taking the initiative, being a good teammate, sacrificing personal glory for the greater good. These are qualities we expect of our leaders, and they're all being cultivated in the high schools right here in South Dakota. Question: so where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer: high school sports.
This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Look at all the pictures of the resort you'd stay in every year. All you need to do is pay reasonable maintenance fees once a year. With any contract that you're signing, read and understand everything. What happens if you cancel? Can you get out of this contract? If you feel pushed into signing the contract, you need to stop and take a step back. If you have questions, contact the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Here's what you need to know.
A busy day for the Cats in the NFL. We start in Cincinnati, where the Bengals have given defensive end Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. Hendrickson is entering the final year of his contract with the Bengals in 2025. Spent the last 4 seasons with Cincy, led the NFL in sacks this past season. More news involving the Bengals. Wide receiver T. Higgins has got the franchise tag placed on him, but The Athletic says multiple teams have reached out to Cincinnati about a trade for Higgins. The report says the Bengals are more interested in working out a long-term deal with Higgins at the moment. Jacksonville Jaguars have released tight end Evan Ingram. Jacksonville also traded wide receiver Christian Kirk to the Houston Texans for a 7th-round pick in 2026. And Jaguars center Mitch Morse is retiring from the game after 10 seasons. Oregon head football coach Dan Lanning gets an extension through 2030. He'll make $11 million per season. That's according to Yahoo Sports. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in on a Thursday. The Nate Brown Show is back. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Hope you've had a great day. Remember, it's always a great day in South Dakota. We're ready to go out of the gate. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live here on Fox Sports Radio and also on your phone, work computer, if it's okay on your work computer. Remember, you can watch us live on Twitter right now. We're streaming live at Nate Brown Show on Twitter. Bring us up, follow the show there, and watch the show live every afternoon drive. At Nate Brown Show on Twitter. Also bring us up on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. So you've got us covered. Thursday edition of the program means what? Great guest lineup. We know that. So we got some good stuff from high school to the NFL. Good guests tonight. Some new guys we haven't heard from in quite some time. And then we'll get to Thursday happy hour tonight with Rob Kegron, our guest host every Thursday. He's live in studio. 2 hours thought-provoking sports talk ready to go. And the Nate Brown Show guest lineup is brought to you by Forever Lawn. They have the best lineup of artificial grass, and not just one size fits all. They've got the specialty artificial grass, sports grass, turf fields, playground grass, golf greens, landscape grass for your house, maintenance-free stuff, looks outstanding, and canine grass for the dogs. If you want to check out the lineup, go to Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Just Google them right now. You can look them up. Forever Lawn in South Dakota, ready to install across the entire state. Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. The Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight. Here it is. Marcus Traxler is going to join us tonight, sports editor, Mitchell Republic. I think those guys do a nice job covering South Dakota high school sports. They're also covering the Summit League tonight. So Marcus Traxler live at the Premier Center. A couple of games in the books for USD women. They go down by 20 earlier today. Great career for Grace Larkins. Tough way to go out, but what a career for Grace Larkins. And then the SDSU women just won by 20 this afternoon. Marcus Traxler talking Summit League and high school hoops. There's some SODAC 16 stuff going on today, so we'll get to him. Marcus Traxler coming up, sports editor, Mitchell Republic. Benjamin Albright is in tonight. Haven't had him in a long time. NFL Insider and KOA Denver Broncos Country Tonight host. Benjamin Albright, really good across the NFL news, so we've got him live straight ahead from KOA Denver. It is Thursday happy hour, so hang on. Next hour, our guest host is Rob Kegron all hour long. A lot to get to. Rob Kegron is in Thursday happy hour next hour. Let's get to this. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline. Call the show, be a part of the program. Powered by the Pizza Ranch. Stop by the Pizza Ranch tonight. The buffet is at 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon and 2 locations in Rapid City. The Pizza Ranch is home of everyone's favorite buffet. We know that by now. Hit the Pizza Ranch tonight and hit us on the Pizza Ranch studio hotline, 605-720-1067. And also the Barron's Wilson text line. It is open and ready. You can text the show directly, 605-720-1067. So careful out there. Some winter weather across the state coming in, so careful on your Thursday, and let's make it happen tonight. So, couple of things here. This is a sports story that really getting overlooked, I think, for the most part. And you guys may say, well, come on, you don't talk about this that much on this show, and I really don't. And because I understand, we try and hit stuff that most people are interested in, and we're not going to get it right all the time, believe me, but we try and get the wide-ranging coverage from high school to college to the pros, and then we break that thing out like, what is interesting in the pros? Well, we hit the NFL a ton. We hit the Vikings a ton. And then you go down this road and you say, is there really an interest in this story? Is this a big story? And I think it's a big story. And as a matter of fact, I think most of the national media even, they didn't really cover it heavy. I would think if this happened back in the day, I think this would have been a massive story, and we still would remember it to this day. And so I think there's a little study that we're going to do today. I'm going to do a Nate Brown Show public perception study. Why isn't this a bigger thing? And I think it's because of the guy who did it. The guy who did it's polarizing. The guy who did it, we say, oh, he's the greatest. And then we say, no, there's no way he's the greatest. And so we get into this deal where we always have to argue against why we think this isn't a big deal. We always have to argue against why we think this story, it's not that big of a deal. Give me a break. Instead of realizing, to me, I think, just sitting back and saying, maybe this is the real deal. Maybe this player is the real deal. And what am I discussing? We hardly ever hit much of it. The 50,000-point mark from LeBron James this week, the all-time points leader in the NBA. So when you think about this, you're going to say, this is LeBron. He played forever. It's easy now. Nobody plays defense. He's in year 22. This is how he gets to 50,000 points. And so there's all of that stuff coming. And I already know the arguments because I think of them as well. I'm a Michael Jordan guy. I've always been a Michael Jordan guy, and I battle with my buddies. I will stay on the Jordan train. I'm never going to get off the Jordan train. But I still think we can take a step back, and I think we can say LeBron James to 50,000 points is quite the accomplishment. I think that's okay to say instead of, yeah, but this, I don't like the guy. The guy's a maniac. What about this guy? I mean, we just jump to that so quick, and we say the game isn't the same. He's not playing against tough players. I mean, there's the list goes on. I know these arguments. For once, I think this week maybe we take a step back and say, look at this. LeBron James to 50,000 points. He's almost done with his career, and then we can stop complaining about him. We can stop not liking him. You can just, whatever he goes and does, we can make fun of his ventures moving forward. I mean, so there's always going to be that space. There will be that space. LeBron is a figure that he got in the middle of stuff, and then people didn't like that, and he's a figure of the social media age. So some people say he's very sensitive. You can't say anything about this, and he'll say something about this. And then he delved in the world of politics, and we know how divisive that is. So there's no winning that. So he's given people so many things to not like him over, and then dislike what he does. And then we just disregard, I think, the accomplishment of he's the all-time leading scorer, 50,000 points. The second-place person on that is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who also played a long time, really, for back in the day. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is at 44,000 points. I mean, he's a long way down the list. And so I just come at this today by saying I think we could say LeBron James' accomplishment in the world of sports, forget the outside stuff and the noise and the really strong opinions about him. Can we recognize that LeBron James to 50,000 points is a really big sports accomplishment? Can we recognize playing 22 years, he still is really, really good? The difference that I'll give LeBron and my guy Michael Jordan, here's the difference. LeBron is still at a really high level. Michael Jordan, I was there in the final days in Washington. I was back in D.C. during that time. I was there in those final days. The Washington Wizards. I still have a Wizards Jordan jersey. Give me a break. I was all in. So I was back there. The Wizards' ending of the career was not like I think LeBron's ending of his career is. We're talking about him maybe not only scoring the 50,000 points, the all-time leading scorer now, but maybe making a run right now with Luka Doncic and the Lakers. That's the difference between LeBron's end of his career and where Michael Jordan ended his. That's the one edge I'll give him. I'm not going to get into the Michael Jordan-LeBron debate. I've done that. I fight with my buddies on that all the time. I'm going to die on that hill, and I know many of you are with me. But I can also, I think, recognize this week, LeBron, for all of his, I don't like this, I don't like that, the game is different. You don't just get to 50,000 points and then it should be, but. I don't think there should be a but. With LeBron's deal hitting the 50,000 point mark, 22 years of playing basketball, I think it's quite something. Now, I think it always gets devalued, and I don't know if we're going to devalue everything. Sports historians, we always thought it was better back in our day. That's why I'm a Jordan guy. I'm not going to be a LeBron guy. We thought it was better back in our day because of the way they played, and they played every game, and they didn't they actually played some defense, and it was physical, and the officiating and all of that stuff. But I do think we always downplay today because I think we have a different viewpoint of pro athletes today. Do we have a different viewpoint of pro athletes today? You guys tell me. I'm going to do a little case study here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. I'm doing a little case study. What is your main viewpoint of pro athletes today? And I could put LeBron in one category. Just go down the list. Pick out a baseball player. Pick out a football player. Whatever sport you're looking at, what is your main viewpoint of pro athletes today? A little study, because I think this plays into how we view accomplishments. We devalue accomplishments because I think most of the public, I don't know about most, but a large portion thinks pro athletes today are soft, not tough, don't work hard. Entitled is a big word, right? we think, I mean, that's what we think they are, and they show us that, by the way. So I think then that takes away from an accomplishment like LeBron. So we just say, this isn't the real deal anymore. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. I think it's an interesting question you got going today. And, I think we're about the same age. So it's like when some of those guys were playing back then, I don't think they were as professional maybe or saw it as much as a business as they do now,
Yep.
Because I think, LeBron, the way he takes care of his body, like I think if Michael Jordan, was on the same things, maybe he would close out his career longer and, a little bit better as well. But I just think the way they, it's a business, so they look at it like a business and they make decisions like a business and take care of their bodies better and stuff. I think that's throughout pretty much all sports.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Michael Jordan, I think he had the business side going, but he didn't see the game as a business. And
he was drinking and smoking cigars and
right,
kind of some of that, which is nothing against that. I got nothing against that, but that's frowned upon. That's part of the reason I think the Mavericks traded Luka, is because there were some of those habits that they didn't like or whatever. So,
by the way, what's our viewpoint of athletes today? It's just first thing that pops into your mind?
My first thing is like I said, I don't think they're soft. I mean, I think they're maximizing and golfers, baseball players, they're doing everything they can to be as good as they can, and if that's I think some people look at it as maybe a soft if they take a couple days off or don't play in every tournament or some of that. But I just think they're
business.
maximizing their value. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate you getting in. I think it's an interesting deal. I mean, I threw this out here. I'm going to throw out some options tonight. Just first thing that comes to your mind. First thing that comes to your mind. What's your main viewpoint of most pro athletes today? 605-720-1067 is our number on the Nate Brown Show tonight. First thing that comes to mind. I gave out some options. Here's options that I put in the poll. Entitled. I hear the word a lot. I've used it. I'm saying, people say, I want to get traded. I don't want to be here. That stuff. The Jimmy Butlers of the world. I'm ticked off. I want to leave. And then we give him what he wants. Right? And not just NBA players, but others. So entitled has to be something that's thrown out there. How about viewpoints of athletes today? The best we've ever seen. And what I mean by that, bigger, faster, stronger. I don't think you can argue anymore that they're not. If you're being honest today, an old man like me, you can't argue today that the athletes are not the best that they've been. There were some greats. I get the great players back in the day, the great pitchers. I understand it. The Miami Dolphins, 1972, they had 200-pound offensive linemen. And they were undefeated. So, I mean, you just put it together. You have to make a real statement that, well, that could be something, right? How about this? The athletes today are engaging, more engaging. I threw this as an option because the social media world we live in, I mean, you got guys that are doing podcasts and they're doing comments. You never dreamed of what Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, we didn't know what they were thinking. Well, there was no engagement there. There was none. You'd catch them maybe on a game or going to a charity event. There was no engagement back and forth with fans and podcasts and being open like that. I mean, you didn't get that side of that from back in the day. And then I will say, is a main viewpoint, the athletes today aren't tough enough. Those are the options I threw out there on my poll, and I wanted to see what people said on that. 605-720-1067 if you want to vote in it. What's your main viewpoint of most pro athletes today? What do you think's winning? What do you think's winning? 46% of the audience on the Nate Brown Show voting main viewpoint of pro athletes today, entitled. And I knew I knew that would win. I somehow knew that would win, at least right now. 46% vote entitled. 25% vote they're not tough enough. That's my main viewpoint. 22%, here's the positive one, 22% say our main viewpoint is they are the best athletes we've seen so far. 22% say they're the best athletes we've seen. 8% say they're engaging. That's what their main viewpoint is of pro athletes today. Entitled first, not tough enough second, the best athletes we've seen third. And my case study on the Nate Brown Show has played out. And I mean, it's true. And I'm not telling you everybody's wrong. I'm just telling you the world we live in. We try and pick. We pick things apart instead of celebrating usually the success. I don't care if that's the Chiefs. I don't care if it's the Taylor Swift effect. We love just picking things apart. I do this show every day. You say this, you say that. You got to have some opinions. It happens. But I think in general, we're more negative towards pro athletes than we've ever been. And I think that impacts, 50,000 points for LeBron. Big deal. Honestly. Let's see here. Listener text. Like everything else in the world today, we're desensitized to everything. We have to be overwhelmed with the accomplishment to take notice. I think with the social media, we don't appreciate what we witness until it passes. When Jordan was playing, we understood his greatness while he played and enjoyed it. That's interesting. Entitled is the number one viewpoint of pro athletes, at least today on the Nate Brown Show. We're going to get into Benjamin Albright. Haven't had him on for a long time. NFL insider. He's with KOA Denver, the Broncos flagship. A lot to discuss on the NFL offseason with Benjamin Albright next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Looking for a new sport utility? Looking for one that's easy on the gas bill? We have them at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet. Over 50 to choose from, most with the exclusive Danny Mantle discount, including 23 all-new 2025 Equinoxes, plus Traverse, Tahoe, Suburban, Trailblazer, and Trax. Finance terms to fit every budget. Rates as low as 2.9% APR. See us at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMantleRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Length of finance contract is limited on select models with qualified credit. Expires 3/31/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter storm warning remains in effect. A winter weather advisory begins at 5 p.m. tonight. Snow heavy at times likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies. Lows dip down to about 21, winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 39. About an inch of snow tonight. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 24 degrees.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connecticut City. Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in Thursday edition of the program. Glad you're here each afternoon drive across South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show is on. Glad you're a part of the program. Thanks for making the show possible. Thursday happy hour is coming up next hour. Full hour with Rob Kegron live in studio. The legendary Rob Kegron, New York City legend from radio, now in South Dakota, and I bring him in every week. I got to keep him on his toes. He used to be a legend in New York City radio, and we bring it to him in South Dakota, man. Rob Kegron's coming in. Happy hour next hour. Benjamin Albright is on. Good to have him. He's covering the NFL. We know that. He's a good guy to follow at Albright NFL. I follow him there at Albright NFL on Twitter. He's on the Broncos flagship, KOA. Benjamin, welcome back in. How are you?
Doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you coming on. I want to get your read on some things and kind of where things are going. I'll get to the Broncos, but let's get to some of this quarterback stuff. I just want your comment on where does some of these guys maybe end up? Where does Aaron Rodgers fit? What do you say?
Well, at this point, I think it's less about fit, more about availability. I mean, what jobs are even available? And so that's sort of the question. I don't think in terms of fit that he fits in Pittsburgh, but we'll see. I think that, the New York Giants, their intention is to woo him. I think their intention is to take multiple swings at this quarterback thing. I think their intention is to woo him and then also probably trade up to 1 overall and draft a quarterback as well. And, I think they'd like to take multiple swings at it because they know that they've got to get quarterback right. And, in terms of paying the price on all this, they'll figure it out because if they don't get quarterback right, they're not going to be there to deal with the mess anyway. So I think the New York Giants are probably the likely landing spot for Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, let me ask you about, speaking of getting a quarterback in the draft, you're down in Colorado. You've seen Shedeur Sanders. Is it Cam Ward, the number one guy, or is it Sanders?
I think it's Cam Ward for most people. I don't think either one of these guys are complete quarterbacks. I think they've got their own, they've each got their own flaws, to their game. But with Shedeur Sanders, I think the comparison there is something like a Teddy Bridgewater, high football IQ guy, maybe a little bit of a limited arm, gutsy guy, but who will take some hits, but ultimately sort of limited tools wise. So more of an anticipatory thrower. I think Cam Ward, people see a little bit better upside there. So I think he's going to wind up being the guy that goes first.
Benjamin Albright on tonight, KOA, Denver Broncos insider, covers the NFL. Find him on Twitter at Albright NFL. Are we surprised at all about, I don't know, it feels like the quarterback market's not great. Like Sam Darnold sitting here, late 20s, still a young guy, had 35 touchdowns. Is the market not good for Sam Darnold?
Well, I wouldn't say the market's bad. I just say it's fairly it's fairly limited. You've got to figure out exactly, where you fit. You've got to figure out, who wants to take a shot at you. And, right now I believe that's going to wind up being the Las Vegas Raiders, but, there are some options out there as far as that kind of stuff goes. So, we'll see. I don't know if Pittsburgh gets involved there. I think Tennessee is somebody else that could maybe look at the Sam Darnold thing and try to convince him to come there. But I think when all said and done, I think the Raiders right now are probably the leaders in the clubhouse.
Okay, so you would go Raiders getting Sam Darnold over Raiders trying to get Russell Wilson. Where's Russell in this picture?
Well, that is the big question, because I think if the Giants miss out on Rodgers, I think they'll take a swing at Russ there on a minimum deal. I'm not sure that he's back in Pittsburgh. We'll sort of see. They put a low ball offer in front of him, and he and Pete Carroll have patched things up, but I don't think that he's really a candidate for the Raiders. We'll see. If they miss out on Darnold, who knows? That doesn't really leave a whole lot of other options. You're bringing him in Indy, you're bringing him in Tennessee. I don't know. So there's really a very, very niche and limited market for Russell Wilson, even though he played rather well for most of the season that he was there in Pittsburgh.
Benjamin Albright, our guest on the Pizza Ranch Hotline, KOA Denver. One more, Kirk Cousins. What do the Falcons do with Kirk?
Well, I mean, I don't think that you want to carry around that salary as the largest and highest paid backup in NFL history, and I'm not sure Kirk wants to do that. But at this point in time, the Falcons are at least saying that they're hanging on to Cousins. I doubt that winds up being the case. If he does hit the free agent market, he's kind of got the Russell Wilson thing going for him where, he can sign with anybody because of the offsets in the contract. He can sign with anybody for veteran minimum. I would suspect that the Cleveland Browns would be looking at that point in time. He's got familiarity with the system, which he's played in his entire career, and I think that's the direction he would look to go.
A couple of wide receivers. What do you say? Davante Adams, is there a market for him?
Well, yeah, there's definitely a market for him. He could certainly still play. I think the thing about him is he kind of wants to go with Aaron Rodgers, and so if he goes to New York, do they have the availability to make that happen? And then putting him opposite Malik Neighbors, that gives Aaron a couple of pretty good targets out there to go to. He's expressed some desire to maybe play on the West Coast, which, obviously New York's on the east side, but he's placed some desire about playing on the West Coast maybe, and so maybe you get the Rams or the Niners involved if they get all their other stuff taken care of. Those teams maybe get involved a little bit and see what his price point is.
Okay, I want to ask you, DK Metcalf. He wants a trade. Seahawks can ask for quite a bit. I mean, they don't have to say, yeah, we'll just let him go. Does DK Metcalf end up somewhere?
Well, the current price point that they put out for DK Metcalf, the first and third, that's never going to happen. Maybe a pair of third rounders gets you DK Metcalf. Again, you're looking at a guy who's primarily a straight line, deep route runner. That's where his success has come: the fly, the post, that kind of stuff. He's not really what you would call a 9-route guy in terms of being a receiver. He almost exclusively runs the 8 or 9. So there's not a full route tree there for him, and wanting $30 million a year, something a lot of teams are not going to be willing to pay. So I would suggest that there's a lot more of a limited market for DK Metcalf than maybe the media would have you believe.
Hey, how about the Broncos? They've been quiet. A lot of people wanted them to go get Debo. Go try and get a DK Metcalf right now. Are the Broncos not interested?
Well, they weren't interested in Deebo Samuel. The legend of Deebo Samuel kind of outpaces the production of Deebo Samuel over the years. I mean, he was a 40-yard-a-game guy, so that's the reason he went for the draft pick that he went for. The Broncos not really in on a lot of these receivers that people think they should be in on. I think that Sean and George Payton feel like that the wide receiver room they have has a lot of upside to it. They're pretty happy with it. Devon Villay is a guy who they would have given a lot more work to last year if he hadn't got injured early in the season with cracked ribs. We saw, that he got a little bit more work later on. Troy Franklin, they gave him a lot of work. It wasn't very productive with it. They're kind of hoping he takes a step this year. And then Marvin Mims, once they figured out that they had him on the roster halfway through the season, he took off. You saw the improvement every single game from him, and statistically that production bore itself out. So, I think the Broncos think they're a little bit more set at wide receiver than perhaps the pundits do.
How does it play out with Courtland Sutton?
Well, that's the big question. They have a number in mind for Cortland Sutton. He's got a number in mind for himself. Those numbers are not within the realm of closeness right now. Doesn't mean they don't eventually both settle on something, but I think the Broncos have a limit on where they're going to pay him, and he can get significantly more out there on the market. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ultimately move on from him. Wouldn't be surprised if they got a deal done either, but I lean more towards they let him hit the market.
I got to ask you, Benjamin Albright on tonight, KOA Denver. Broncos sitting there with the 20th pick. Would they go running back if Ashton Jeanty is there?
Well, I don't think Jeanty's going to be anywhere near there. I still think that they may look at the running back position. Amarian Hampton, somebody maybe he falls in their lap there at 20. It's a complete 3-down running back they could look at. I think they're just looking right now to see what happens, the way this draft shakes out, and what falls to them at that point. And if Jeanty were there, I would say that they'd be all over that. But I don't think I think Jeanty's going to wind up probably going like 6 to the Raiders. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the Broncos.
Wow. Could go that high. Joey Bosa gets released. He's had a lot of injuries. He's still late 20s edge rusher. Joey Bosa, were you surprised by that news?
No, not at all. I mean, you talk about a high-priced guy who's aging and has missed 8 games a season over the last 3 years. They're looking for more reliability at that position and to get younger and more cost-effective, and that makes sense for the Chargers. Bosa will probably find a home out there. I mean, he's certainly worthy of at least one more contract in the league, but I think the name is bigger than the money that it takes at this point. No interest from Denver for Bosa, but I'm sure there'll be 3 or 4 teams that have a little money to spend that could use his veteran presence there in the lineup.
Last one for Benjamin Albright, Broncos insider, KOA Denver. Has a great show on KOA. What's the biggest need here for the Broncos? Draft, free agency. What do they need to shore up?
Well, they need to get a free safety, an inside backer, and maybe another body on the defensive line. I would say free safety is probably the biggest, most pressing issue on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, the running back room and the tight end room, really. The tight end room was wholly unproductive. The running back room was wildly underwhelming last year. So I suspect that they'll look to shore those things up and looking for what Sean Payton keeps calling a joker, which is really just a mismatch guy, whether that's a running back like a Reggie Bush or a Kamara, or whether it's a tight end like Jimmy Graham. Just somebody that's a mismatch guy. You put him out there and you're forcing the opponent to make a choice in how you defend that. What personnel you're trotting out there, and if you trot out the wrong guy, well, they're going to exploit that mismatch. So I think those are the areas they need. I think the big spends for the Broncos, I think they'll get a tight end in free agency. I think they'll get an inside backer in free agency and probably a free safety. I think those are the 3 priority areas.
KOA Denver, he is on. Broncos insider Benjamin Albright. Find him on Twitter. Follow him at Albright NFL if you're not. Benjamin, good to have you. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely good to hear your voice, man.
Appreciate your time. Benjamin Albright on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Good to have him. KOA Denver, Broncos flagship, and on Twitter at Albright NFL. Does a good job. If you're not following him, follow him there at Albright NFL. Benjamin Albright getting us started. Rapid fire, man. We got you some NFL news right there. He says the Raiders, look at the Raiders making a run at Sam Darnold. Can the Raiders make a run at Sam Darnold? Would they pay Sam $40 million? You're going to pay Sam 40? Because I think the Vikings are trying to get him on a $25 to $30 million. I just saw that from Yahoo Sports this afternoon. They were looking at Sam Darnold in the market out there. It's like Vikings wouldn't mind doing a short-term deal, $25 to $30 million a year. Would the Raiders do better than that? Would they go after Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold, what does he end up doing? Do the Vikings bring him back? This is a big, big storyline. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show. Let's go high school hoops and Summit League. A lot of basketball to talk. New guest, Marcus Traxler. He's the sports editor at the Mitchell Republic. He's on next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
A new car when you play at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort this month. We've got a 2024 Chevy Trax from Queen City Motors, and it's ready to go to the lucky winner of our Easy Street Grand Prize drawing. Getting entered to win is so easy. We'll give you one free entry every day you come in and play with your Clubhouse card. Then get an additional entry for every 100 points you earn. The drawing will be held March 29th, so get in today and start earning entries to win a brand new Chevy Trax. It's all happening at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
We're bringing Music City to you. Get ready for Nashville Night on March 22nd at the Box Elder Event Center. The concert kicks off at 7 p.m. with the talented Jessica Luby, followed by the high-energy Velvet Rodeo. Put on your boots and get ready to dance. Plus, test your skills on the mechanical bull.
Hold on tight, honey. You got it.
And enjoy Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Yeehaw! Tickets
are just $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at thebox.live. Don't miss out on the country event of the year.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show brought to you in part by Boston's in Sioux Falls. Hey, sports fans, March Madness is coming up. We know that. Summit League's already on. You want to take the crew to Boston's. It's brand new, and I love the place. Okay, I've been to these Boston's. Outstanding. Know the owner. They do an outstanding job. Gourmet pizza, tons of wing options, great burgers. It's Boston's on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. That's where you'll find the brand new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar. They'll have the games, great food and drinks. You can order lunch, dinner online, bostons.com. Check out the new Boston's in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Marcus Traxler's on tonight. Hey, good to have him. I think these guys do a good job covering from high school to college in South Dakota. Check out the coverage from the Mitchell Republic. Do a good job. He's the sports editor there in Mitchell, and he's on X at Marcus Traxler. You can follow him there. And he's here on the Nate Brown Show on the Pizza Ranch Hotline. Marcus, good to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Thanks for your time. I want to tell everybody, I'm going to get into some high school stuff with you, but you're covering the Summit League, so let's start there. You're at the Premier Center. USD women lose by 20. People weren't stunned by it, but the storyline is Grace Larkins' last game for her. What type of player Grace Larkins people should remember her as?
Just an incredible player, incredible balance. The things that she brings to the table are just not easily replicated in this conference by mid-majors, and she does it all. We don't talk about a triple crown very often in college basketball, but points, rebounds, assists. She led them all, and she's an incredible athlete. It is kind of a shame that USD only had 11 wins this season, but I thought about it earlier today. I mean, she was on that illustrious 2022 team that made the Sweet 16, and I mean, that had three of the other best players in USD history on that team as well. So you think about her coming off the bench. She was 6th Woman of the Year that year. That was 4 of the best 10 players in USD women's basketball history. And when you look at it in that light, the fact that she stayed another 3 years, she scored and did all these great things. What an incredible career.
Just wrapped up today, USD women lost by 20 at the Premier Center in the first-round game. So how far is it, or how hard is it for these women's teams in the Summit League to catch SDSU right now?
Well, there's just not the depth, and these other teams just do not have the depth that SDSU has right now. I mean, even today, I think they had 8 or 9 players score 7 points. They had 5 players in double figures. I mean, there are not a lot of mid-majors. There might not be many basketball programs, women's basketball programs at all in the country that are capable of doing that in the first-round game of their conference tournament. And, Oral Roberts looked really good today against USD, but, if both teams are guns blazing on Sunday afternoon, I mean, SDSU is going to be in position to win. So NDSU was in the championship game last year. They lost their best player to the transfer portal. They kind of look like they're maybe finding their form here at the end. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough ask for either of those teams to knock off the Jacks because they were playing, I think, pretty sharp today. And for a team that was 26-3 coming into this, I'm kind of the belief that they still have another gear or 2 in them, and that's a scary thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. SDSU women, they win by 20 today at the Premier Center. The USD women knocked out of the Summit League today, lost by 20. Marcus Traxler covering it for the Mitchell Republic. He's the sports editor, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show talking Summit League hoops. Do you think the SDSU women, we've seen them do this, and the USD women, you were mentioning that team with Don Plitzwhite, can they win in the NCAA tournament? I don't want to get too far ahead, but let's say the Jacks take care of business. Can they win in the women's tournament?
Absolutely. And I think, their main thing is where will they be seeded? You look at all the bracketology, it seems like it has them at an 8 or a 9 seed. That's perfectly fine for the first round. The Jacks have been in that spot before. It's a problem in the second round when they potentially take on a number 1 seed. So that will be a tall task. If you're SDSU, the sweet spot is probably 10, 11, 12 seed or the other way around, 5, 6, 7 seed, so that you don't have to play a number 1, number 2 seed. You don't have to necessarily play on that team's home floor in the first round because generally the top 4 seeds in each bracket host. So, but you can't gerrymander the bracket, to be perfect for you. So I think, if SDSU finds themselves in that position, they're probably already in, no matter what happens with how good their net is and 27 wins, only 3 losses. I have to think they're in a really good position either way, but they have a great chance to win the first round game, and then they need things to go right to get back to the Sweet 16 like they have done before.
Okay, let's go to the men's side. Who do people think is the favorite in the men's side? The Omaha's the one. People say, I don't know if they can make this run.
I like Omaha. I think they've shown this year, especially in the conference schedule specifically, it's strange to have the number 1 seed. They don't have 20 wins yet. I think they have 19 wins coming into tonight's game, but they have shown some good depth, some good scorers, key players. St. Thomas is the 2 seed. We're all kind of wondering, this is the last year where St. Thomas is ineligible for the NCAA tournament. So Omaha technically has 2 chances to go to the dance because if St. Thomas wins, that sends Omaha as regular season champion. Certainly, people look at SDSU as the 3 seed, a lot of history, a lot of, they're going to have the fan support in this building, but, lost their point guard a couple weeks ago, and a, completely new cast compared to last year for the most part. So, those are probably the 3 we're watching, and then USD, plays a up-tempo style. They like to press, they like to score, one of the top 10 scoring teams in the country. If they're able to put everything together, they're in great shape. NDSU's banged up, but they have a great history in this tournament. So, you're looking at those 5 teams. That's why I kind of just come back to Omaha. They're the top seed. They've been probably the most consistent team all year. There's a case to be made for St. Thomas as well. But am I going to be surprised if SUSU wins? No, because they have the pedigree and the home court advantage. And USD, I mean, I like their team, but it's going to be tough for them to play the way they play, pressing and high energy, and do that for 3 nights in a row.
Yeah, they got a tough road, USD does. The men get in action tomorrow with the Yotes and the Jacks in action at the Summit League Tournament. Marcus Traxler covering it for the Mitchell Republic. Let's switch gears to high school. So some of the SODAC 16s going on tonight on the girls' side. So let's start there, like Class A. This is what I want to ask. Class A girls, Mapayalutta is the number 1. Are they a favorite in Class A?
I wouldn't classify them. They have a great chance. I wouldn't classify them as a favorite. I would reserve that probably for Sioux Falls Christian. I just keep coming back to them as a well-tested team, a really good offense. Scoring more than 60 points a game. They have a couple wins over AA teams this season, so I keep coming back to Sioux Falls Christian as a favorite. Mapayalutta has everything you want to see out of a team that's surging into this tournament. They're undefeated. They average 70-some points a game. They only give up 30 points a game. Against all the teams they've played, they've done the job. But I don't believe they've played. They're undefeated. They have not played Sioux Falls Christian. They have not played Hamlin. They have not played Dakota Valley. You can go down. Those are the top 3 seeds. So I like Mapayalutta. I just, and I like them probably to be in the semifinals, if everything holds. But I don't know that I'm calling them a favorite at this point.
Okay,
I do like that Mapayalutta. They have challenged themselves with their schedule, so I don't have issues with that. I like what they've done so far this year.
Okay, I want to ask you. Class A girls was a discussion point. Was there were so many good teams in one of the regions that maybe we should look at opening this up from the SODAC 16 to the SODAC 32. Where do you stand on that?
I understand the sentiment on 32 teams, but I think 16 is the right number. I think it strikes the balance between having your regionality, your 8 regions. You're going to send 2 teams no matter what, but we're also reseeding at that point, so we're getting 1 through 16. And that if you are, in the same region as another team, you're the 3rd best team. You're the 2nd best team, as it happens to be this year with Dakota Valley and Sioux Falls Christian in the same region. You have a chance to play somebody else. The situation this year, I think it was Region 4A on the girls' side. We had the same case in Class B with a different region. There's always going to be kind of a collection of, we got 4 teams in the top 16. We got 5 teams in the top 20. We have the region tournaments for a reason. We have to play it down to a certain extent. I like the SODAC 16. I think it's worked pretty well. I think it kind of strikes the right balance between what we had before with regions and also giving that second team in a region a chance to get to the state tournament.
All right, Marcus, let's go to AA boys because it's an interesting game. Mitchell, the Colonels, they're taking on Rapid City Central in the SODAC 16 this weekend. Where's Mitchell at? These guys have been state champs. Where are they at in this AA window? That doesn't seem like an easy game against Central, who surprised some teams.
Yeah, Central's been plucky. I know Mitchell. I know there are a lot of teams in AA that weren't thrilled to maybe potentially see Stevens, and I know Harrisburg's one of those teams, and so that's a matchup that people are watching. But Mitchell, I think they have 2 of the best wins anybody has in AA boys basketball this season. They beat Sioux Falls Lincoln, the only team that's done that this season, and they're the number 1 seed. And they beat Orono, Minnesota, a perennial state title contender at the Hoop City Classic in December. Hard-fought game, and they got the win. So, but they also have lost to Brandon Valley, Harrisburg, and Huron, and had games where they did not play their best. Against Brandon Valley, I think they were up 17-4, and then the offense just turned off, and they finished in the 30s for points in the game. And so it's a little bit puzzling, but teams know about Marcus Talley. They know about Colton Smith. Marcus Talley, one of the best guards in the state. They're going to throw stuff at him to slow him down, and that's the challenge that Mitchell's trying to work through right now is how do they get all their key players involved. Gavin Hinker is a really good post player. It's important that he's not in foul trouble. Same with Colton Smith. When those forwards are going, they have a 1-2 combo at forward that is just not easily matched in AA basketball. But the road for Mitchell is going to be very difficult. You mentioned the SODAC 16 game. if they win that and the seeds hold, they'd play Huron, a team that knows them well, already has one under their belt against them, and then that's not even counting the top 4 seeds potentially seeing Lincoln in the semifinals, and then Brandon Valley or Harrisburg in the championship. So the road is going to be difficult. Last year, Mitchell was a 1 seed. I wouldn't say that the road was easy, but Mitchell got through the quarterfinals and the semifinals relatively simply, and it's not going to be that way this year. But, going through that experience previously, I think Mitchell's equipped to do it. They just need to play well.
Good breakdown of the scene. He's at the Summit League tourney covering the Jackson Yotes. Sports editor for the Mitchell Republic is Marcus Traxler. Find his work there at the Mitchell Republic online. And we'll get you back on, man. I appreciate you hopping in. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it. Marcus Traxler on the Nate Brown Show tonight across South Dakota. Sports editor for the Mitchell Republic. Live at the Summit League tourney. Breaking down some high school hoops as well. We got any upset picks in AA? How about AA girls? Any upsets in the Sodak 16 tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. How about the boys' side? Can Stevens upset Harrisburg? Stevens was up on Harrisburg last time they played them by 17. They were up on them by 17. So look out. Can Rapid City Central knock off Mitchell? Can Mitchell make another run to a state title? It's that time of year. Marcus Traxler on tonight. Good stuff. Sports editor from the Mitchell Republic. We come right back on the Nate Brown Show. Let's revisit our question of the day as we get set for the second hour. Hang on.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big money on your next project now at Menards. Upgrade your home with new outlets from Legrand. They have innovative outlets and light switches available in a variety of finishes and styles with features like USB Type A and C charging ports. Brighten up your home and save big on Legrand outlets and light switches today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The South Dakota Lottery is all about good fun. But too much fun is not good fun. Like too much ice cream. Brain freeze is not fun. Or roller coasters. Good fun! Or lottery games. Too much fun is not good fun. That's why the South Dakota Lottery reminds you to always play only for fun. And if you can't, help is available and always confidential. Because too much fun is not good fun. Play responsibly. Keep the fun good. Learn more at keepthefungood.com.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter storm warning remains in effect. A winter weather advisory begins at 5 p.m. tonight. Snow heavy at times likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies. Lows dip down to about 21, winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 39. About an inch of snow tonight. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 24 degrees.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Chatting here with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. All I know is where we live, boy, it's hard on vehicles. That it is. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs. I know you're an ASE and AAA approved repair facility. Well, what's that all mean? It means we passed all the national requirements to be an authorized AAA automotive repair facility. Plus, our mechanics have passed thorough testing in all of the disciplines of auto repair to achieve their ASE certification. Impressive. So from oil changes to brakes and batteries, cooling, heating, or shocks and suspension, we're your answer. A one-stop shop. Absolutely. Plus, we carry over 50 brand-name tires with deals as good as anywhere, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles. That's an incredible brake deal. You know, it really is. Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASC certified automotive repair specialist. See anytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in. Careful out there across South Dakota. Some snow, some road conditions. So careful out there. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on tonight. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show of Fox Sports Radio. If you want to follow the show and watch us live, you can do that on your phone if you're on Twitter. So you can watch us live at Nate Brown Show. So we stream on Twitter, and we also stream on YouTube. The Nate Brown Show is the YouTube channel. Subscribe. You've got the show live and archived right there. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. So welcome in. Thursday edition. Happy hour's coming up. Rob Kegron on his way. You going to make it, Rob? You're tough, right? Tougher than a $2 steak. You New York City tough. I'm going to show you South Dakota tough tonight. Rob Kegron's coming in. Happy hour straight ahead. Our guest host in the second hour. So I have to ask a question of the day. So I'm a sixth grade basketball coach, okay? I mean, I'm not a pro or anything like this. We put in work. I put in time. I try and help kids develop the whole thing, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy coaching sixth grade girls basketball. And then I'm a parent of a kid playing, right? Soccer, sport, basketball, and the whole thing. Sometimes it gets a little stressful. Sometimes, you're out there on the roads tonight, a little stressful. Sometimes I'm a little uptight. And I thought I wanted to ask a question of the day. There's all of this talk all the time about parents and sports parents, and they're traveling, they're doing this, they're doing that. My question of the day, and I'm going to get Rob Kegron's thought on this as we start the second hour. Which one is it? Do you think sports parents have more fun or more stress? More fun or more stress? That's what I'd like to know, okay? More fun or more stress? Which one do you think it is? I got a listener reaction already. It's both. It's both. So sports parents have fun and more stress. But, I mean, can those coexist? We're having more fun than you. What are you doing, Jimmy? Get off the... Okay, I mean... Sometimes it sounds like fun. All these people getting in fights in the stands. What a fun time, huh? Seems a little stressful. But so I wanted to throw it out. Let's throw out that general question to you tonight. You can answer it for me, 605-720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. So let's decide tonight. Do you think sports parents have more fun or more stress? Because really, it should be about the fun, right? Should be about the fun. But let me tell you, I've fallen into the stress category. Matt Kearney's had to bring me back to reality sometimes. He said he can hear the discussions about youth sports and everything, and I'm giving him an edge on life. I mean, I'm giving him a new perspective on life, the perspective of a youth sports parent. Is it more fun or more stress? Let's see what people are voting tonight. 605-720-1067. Let's see. 75% say what? 109 votes here on the show tonight. 109 votes. 75% of those people say more stress. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Do we have our priorities in order? Do we have our priorities as 75% voting more stress, 25% more fun? And we just got 111 votes, so people are still voting on this. 55% fun, 45% stress. I just got that vote. Let's see. Listener text, sports parents are way more uptight than they used to be. Yeah, I know that. So here's the difference. I've taken a step back because I got like 1 year left of the youth sports experience, because I got a high schooler and then a later middle schooler, and so we're getting into that. So I've got 1 year left, and I've taken a step back actually, really probably the last, year or two, to try and really reflect and enjoy the time. Can parents, so my advice, and I'm not through the gauntlet yet, but my advice, if you're just starting out with Jimmy and Tina, and you're on this battle when they're U8, you're just on this battle in the soccer field or whatever it is, just chill, enjoy, because it goes quickly. So I'm going to tell you this. I coach youth basketball like this weekend, and there's nothing better. I have a lot of fun. I have a blast. I don't know what I'm going to do here like 3 years from now. I mean, I might have to come up with a hobby or something. So that's a scary thought. So I have a blast. I have a lot of fun. Now, some people say I look a little stressed sometimes. That's part of the fun. Don't you? Don't you know that? Listener text. A better question for you, Nate. Is it fun as a coach? Oh, thanks for that. It is fun, and I would be lying if there wasn't a little stress. Hate to tell you. So I would be lying if I said there wasn't a little stress. Listener text, youth sports parents have more fun. Sports parents tend to put their children's wants and needs ahead of theirs, which can be stressful. See how we do this? I say it's fun, and then we bring up all these, well, it's a little stressful too. That guy who answered it first and said it's both, it is both, but I try and dial it in tonight. I said, which would you vote for? Is it more fun or more stress? 74% of the audience said sports parents have more stress than fun. Where does the stress come from? Anything in your pocketbook? That might add to the stress. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a blast. We got to remember that. That was kind of my motto today of that question. Can we remember it is about the fun, not the stress? Can we remember that? Let's try this weekend, okay? You see me on the courts, we'll be having a good time. Remember, coming right back with 5 questions from Chris. It's a Thursday, and I've got 5 answers for our loyal listener, Chris. He's got 5 questions next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
No one has a handbook for what we're living through today, which is why the experience you have access to makes all the difference in how you make it to tomorrow. For decades, Dakota Bank has worked with ag producers through industry, economic, and regional changes. We're committed to agriculture. We're committed to the producers and families that make our communities great. Go with commitment, experience, and integrity. Dakota Bank, banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and trust not FDIC insured.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Winter has us all looking for a warm place to land. While your vehicle gets left out in the cold, even when garaged, there's a list of cold weather-related issues like cold engine start damage, batteries, or frozen suspension. This is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. If you're hearing noises or maybe something just feels off, it may not be a ghost, but it could be a warning. Give us a call. We'll find the issue before it leaves you stranded. Most vehicles, most years, and most countries. Al's D&I can fix them. Check in at Al's D&I or online at alsdniautorepair.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Who is it?
You're Prince Charming.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I've been calling to you, Rapunzel. Rapunzel, let down your golden hair for days.
I didn't hear you. The witch got the tower new replacement windows from Renewal by Andersen.
Didn't you wonder where I was?
Not really. My new windows are very energy efficient, keeping my tower very comfortable, and they have greatly reduced the noise levels.
What noise? You live in a forest.
Well, a certain needy prince is constantly yelling my name.
Do you not love me anymore?
Oh, quit being so dramatic.
Dramatic? Moi?
Yes, and Renewal by Andersen exclusively offers gorgeous ensemble security doors, safe and durable.
Do they?
You should get them for the castle along with new Acclaim replacement windows.
If I do, will you marry me?
Let's not rush it. And Prince Charming, get the windows for you, not me.
Oh, wait. Windows. For me?
Does your castle need new windows? Discover Acclaim windows and ensemble entry doors, custom fit and exclusive to Renewal by Andersen. Free consultations. Visit rbarapidcity.com.
One more time. This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
One more time. All right, careful out there tonight. Thursday edition of the program is on Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show. Thanks for making the show possible. Hope you've had a good day. It's still winter, still around. Can you tell? South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on. Second hour, ready to rock and roll with Thursday Happy Hour tonight. Rob Kegron coming in, so hang on. A lot to cover with Rob tonight, our guest host every Thursday in the second hour of the show. That is on tap. Before we get to Rob Kegron, I got a listener text. Do sports parents have more fun or more stress? That's the question of the day. It's a trick question. You never thought I'd do that to you. It's a trick question. Do sports parents have more fun or more stress? I said I have fun. This is a blast. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, kids are going to be out of this thing. What am I going to do? Am I still going to coach 6th grade girls basketball when my daughter's not there? Well, I don't know. That's a sad thing, isn't it? Let's see here. Listener text coming in. I have coached football 12 and under for the last 6 years. It's a joy and rewarding to teach and guide the youth. The parents can be the stressful part. That is right. That is right. Okay, are we ready for this?
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, Chris, how we doing tonight? What do you got for me? Loyal listener Chris to Fox Sports Radio gives me 5 questions every week. We call it 5 questions from Chris. How original. Number 1. The Atlanta Braves are a publicly traded company, so we get a glimpse of how profitable they may be. The Braves report a revenue of $595 million in 2024, a slight increase from the previous year. Now, with this snapshot on one Major League Baseball team, can we extrapolate that baseball is a healthy sport, teams are making money, or are small markets like the A's and Tampa Bay Rays suffering more than the bigger markets? Well, I don't know if you can say, hey, the Braves made $595 million, so then everybody does that, because the big markets are the real deal. Like, how much do the Twins make? Can we get a picture? Do we know how successful the Twins are? I would think pretty darn good, but they aren't the Yankees. So, and then you take that even further down to the A's, no fans. The Rays, no fans. So it's really, really difficult to see how healthy are the Cubs, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and then the middle tier. How healthy are the Twins, the Astros, and then all the way down to the bottom? I don't know. But let me just tell you, Chris, you're saying, like, can we see if baseball teams are making money? Yes. That's my answer. Even the Rays, even the A's. So they are making money. Maybe not like the Braves. I don't feel too sorry. Question number 2. Denver was awarded to host the 1976 Winter Olympics, but Denver never hosted the event. Wow, look at this history lesson, Chris. Denver's the only city to never host the Olympics after it was awarded the games. Now Milan is expected to spend $2 billion to host. Can the Winter Olympics be sustainable in the long term if the IOC keeps insisting different sites host the event? I don't think so. I've said this. I'm serious. I think you have to pick places to do the Olympics. Pick 4 different places. Winter, summer. 4 each. Because the infrastructure and the money that's spent is just ridiculous. You want to talk about government spending? How about these guys? They're out of control. I mean, the spending the money on the Olympics like this, $2 billion for Milan, that's ridiculous. You have to change this up. Speaking of where the money goes, maybe we should take a look at the IOC. Anyway, I don't say that too loud. Careful. Question, you got to just pick cities to host events. You can't be moving stuff around and making cities pay $2 billion. That's unbelievable. All right, will the Winter Olympics be around, Chris asks? Will they be around another 50 years? Let's see, will I be? You're dang right. I'll still be talking about... Okay, question number 3. LeBron James just scored 50,000 points. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's a distant second with 44,000. What do you think motivates LeBron to keep playing in the NBA? He's in year number 22. Well, I just think he's at a high level still. I don't know what motivates him. I mean, he's got all these, his brand and the business, and now his son's playing, so that probably keeps him going a little bit. He's just playing at a high level. That's my answer. Why does he keep playing? Because he doesn't look like Kevin McHale did at the end. Right? So he just keeps going. He's at a high level. I think that's why. Question number 4, 5 questions from Chris. When the news broke last week that baseball will be in their last season on ESPN, many baseball insiders thought Major League Baseball might go after a streaming partner, Apple or Amazon. What do you think, Nate? Should they go after a streaming partner or an over-the-air channel? I would do over-the-air. I mean, the streaming thing, I understand, but I would do over the air. I'm seeing reports they're trying to get NBC. So I don't know if they're going to get that done, but streaming's one thing. They'll give you money. Your product is not wide-ranging for fans. I don't think wide-ranging enough, and I don't know if MLB is a big enough draw like the NFL for the streamers. So if I'm trying to get over the air, if I'm Major League Baseball, I want my product to be watched by millions, not I have to get another streaming service to do it. Question number 5, wrapping it up. March Madness coming up in 2 weeks. Unless you follow the sport, the casual fan doesn't know how many of the players have made this college basketball season entertaining. Nate, does NIL money have to be more to try and get star players like Duke's Cooper Flagg to stay another season? Well, the NIL money's a lot. I don't know how much Cooper Flagg's getting, my Dookie. The NIL money's a lot. Can it match NBA? I don't think so. So we're in this stage. You're going to get guys that go overseas, maybe play at Duke one year. That's the deal. The stars are going to go to the NBA because it's massive amounts of money. I don't think the NIL can even quite get there. NIL's doing fine. Is it going to allow guys to stay another year? I still doubt it. If you're an NBA number 1 pick like Cooper Flagg, you are gone after 1 year. Speaking of the Dukies, look out! My Dukies are coming for you. The Dukies are back. Are you happy about that? I am. 5 questions from Chris in the books. Thursday Happy Hour with Rob Kagron starts next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Sports Grass by Forever Lawn delivers a trifecta that can't be beat. Higher quality product, expertly handled custom installation, and long-term partnership. Indoors or out, small or large. Your sports grass field will continue to look and feel great after years of play. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you put the best into your sports fields. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Who's gotten this text? Please pick up milk and bread on your way home. Milk is easy, skim or 2%, but with so many choices, the bread aisle can be a bit much. Thankfully, I'm friends with Loafy. He gave me a tip that makes finding the perfect loaf as simple as he is. For the only bread that's baked locally and delivered fresh daily, just look for the Country Hearth logo on the package. And not only is it the best, dozens of Country Hearth products now have also lower prices. So the next time you're lost in the bread aisle, take it from Loafy and look for Country Hearth.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter storm warning remains in effect. A winter weather advisory begins at 5 p.m. tonight. Snow heavy at times likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies. Lows dip down to about 21, winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 39. About an inch of snow tonight. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 24 degrees.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Well, welcome in. It is happy hour on the Nate Brown Show, presented by the Skybox. Every Thursday, the best sports bar in Rapid City. Whenever you're in Rapid City, you live in the Black Hills area, you got to go to the Skybox. It's our headquarters. Best place to watch the games. Headquarters for the Rush games. When they're on the road, they are on at the Skybox. So hit the Rush parties, hit March Madness. It's coming up. Hey, we got USD, SDSU men playing tomorrow night in the Summit League tournament. So hit the Skybox, watch all the big games, enjoy the Firehouse food and service right above the Firehouse, downtown Main Street, Rapid City. Rob Kegron's in. It is Thursday. Heads up out there, careful. Across South Dakota, some snow showers and some road conditions, so heads up. Here we go, Rob. I've got some interesting things. It was nice weather last week across South Dakota. We were hitting 60. Did you go golfing at all last week?
I didn't. I really wanted to go this past weekend, and I couldn't make it work schedule-wise. But there were plenty of people out there. It was good enough to play golf. 60 degrees in end of February, beginning of March. That's incredible.
Yeah, so it got me thinking of spring, and so I said, let's do a little list of what are our top 3 spring sports events to watch. What do we want to watch in the spring? Because everybody talks, Rob, like this is the dead zone. There's not a lot of stuff going on. I've got my top 3. It's easy. It's easy for me. And I have a feeling you're going to bring one into this. I know you're going to bring one event into this. it's okay. I mean, it's fine, but I know you're going to do this. So I'm going to start with it. Top 3 spring sports events to watch. It got me spring fever now today. We're back into winter across South Dakota. But spring sports events to watch. I'm going to go with number 3, the NFL Draft. I do think moving it to prime time, that first round. Now, I don't watch the rest of the weekend. 6th round, 7th round. I mean, if it's, I'll tune in. Hey, who picked who? I always watch where are my Broncos at? How many picks did they get? But I'll watch that first night. I mean, I even have the family. We're watching the first night. That move off the weekend to prime time for the NFL Draft made it a deal for me. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
NFL Draft. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with it. I'm certainly okay with it being number 3. The problem I have with the draft, don't get me wrong, I'm completely interested in it. There's too much downtime right in between the picks. It's like pick, then it's 10 minutes and a lot of analysis. And
I like it. You should like Mel Kiper and the guys shooting it around.
I don't mind them. It's just, do I need the first round to take 4 hours?
I want that first round prime time. I love it. That's a great event. It has made it a TV event. You learn about the players. You maybe didn't know some of these guys. So I go NFL Draft. It did not make your list.
It did not make my list.
It did not make your list.
No.
So that's off. So NFL, King NFL here, Rob Kegron, right here. The NFL Draft is not in your spring sports events. Okay? So I learned something there. That's number 3 for me. Number 2, the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs. People are going to laugh. I don't watch the NBA. If you just watch the NBA playoffs, are you telling me there's something better on in the spring for that stretch of April and May? Are you trying to tell me there's something better than the NBA playoffs?
No, I think
Are you okay with that?
I'm absolutely okay with the NBA playoffs being they are number 2 for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
May not have made my list though.
Oh my gosh. This is out of control. He just threw it together when he rolled in the studio tonight. By the way, number one, it's March Madness. I think, could we all agree on that? Finally, please. March Madness starts 2 weeks from today. Can you believe that? 2 weeks from today.
Exciting.
Denver has a regional. I'm still debating if I'm going to hit that a little bit. So 2 weeks from today, March Madness might be one of the best sports. Well, I think it is. I not only put it number 1 in my spring sports events. Boy, it's top 3. Might be top 2 outside. I mean, Super Bowl, I guess, NFL playoffs. I kind of throw all that in there, but March Madness might be number 2 overall for me. So it's number 1 spring sports event, March Madness. NFL Draft, NBA playoffs, March Madness. And you're going to go what?
I'm going to go number 3, something that didn't make your list. And it's a one-day thing, but to me it's so indicative that we have actually hit spring, right? Things are changing. The weather has warmed up. I'm excited for this because it's an outdoor sport where you can sit and you can watch. You can't necessarily do that here in South Dakota, but where I grew up in New York City, it's a really big day, and it's opening day.
Oh,
Major League Baseball opening day.
You put that on your list.
Absolutely.
Opening day.
I get so excited for the turn of it. Like I don't care at all about spring training, right? And maybe if I lived in Arizona or Florida, I might get into that, but I don't care. But once the first game counts, right? And particularly the way that baseball does it now where everybody plays on that opening day. It used to be where they'd split it up over a couple of different days, and now everybody's playing on that first day, and you have 15 games, and there's baseball all over the place. Not a lot else going on otherwise. There usually is the Sweet 16 that night.
Outside of, you have a job. I mean, you need to work.
I'm my own boss, if anyone's listening. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm watching baseball all afternoon on that day.
I was going to say,
just so we understand.
It's opening day. I mean, I thought I was the only one that pulled it up. It's okay. It's okay. There's only 161 more games after that. That's my problem.
And I get it's only one day, but to me, it's the beginning of that is the true beginning of spring because the fact that
makes you feel good.
Right, we're going to play baseball now for the next 6 months, and I love that part. I love the excitement. I love that there's hope. Right, that when you start on that first day, I know there's some teams that are probably going to stink anyway, but there is a little bit of hope on that opening day that if your team has a chance to.
It was close for me. It didn't make my top 3. Okay, Major League Baseball opening day. I'm with you.
So now we're going to really go off the rails here.
We go.
Number 2 is March Madness. I love March Madness.
Number 2,
but it's not my number 1.
Number 2,
it's not my number 1.
It's like my top 2 in all of sports year round.
The problem so there are a couple things with March Madness. the first 4 days are the best part of the tournament, and yet you don't crown a champion in the first 4 days. The excitement is all in those first 4 days, and then it starts to wane. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to watch every game, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, National Championship. But the excitement, if it's almost two different tournaments, Nate, right? It's the first 4 days where you and I are rooting to destroy everyone's bracket and have 15 seeds win
upsets,
and 14 seeds. And then once you get to the Sweet 16, it's no longer about that. Right now I'm looking for great matchups. I don't really care about Cinderella anymore. I want the best teams to get to the Final Four, because how many years have we seen it where you get clunker teams in the Final Four and they just can't match up anymore, right? They gave you one weekend. They somehow gave you a second weekend. They can't give you a third, right? It's very rare that one of these teams...
You think it fizzles out. You think it fizzles out a little bit.
I think, and I would almost equate this, and you may disagree with this, to the NHL playoffs, which I do love. They didn't make my list either. But I love the NHL playoffs because, why? There's a massive difference between the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs. 8 seeds don't beat 1 seeds in the NBA playoffs. It just doesn't happen.
No.
Right? In the NHL, happens all the time.
Yeah.
Because goalies stand on their head and they just get super hot and you can't get past them. And then a lot of times you don't necessarily get the best teams or the most marquee teams that make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final, right? Like, think about it, even last year, I got into Edmonton. You know, I really liked watching Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. But Edmonton against the Florida Panthers, I'm sorry, right? Like,
especially for a casual sports,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah, so that, to me, it fizzles that way too. A little bit different in March Madness, but to me, the upsets in March Madness can take some of the fun out of the second weekend, but it provides all the fun of the first weekend.
Oh, March Madness. I live for March Madness, and you put it at number 2, and I can guess your number 1. I mean, this is this is absolutely unbelievable.
It's a tradition, unlike any other.
I can't believe you would put the Masters as number 1. I mean, I understand it's the best golf event. I understand it's golf.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance here.
It's golf.
That is, if opening day to me is the beginning of spring, the Masters is spring. The most, a lot of reasons. Number 1, the most beautiful golf course you've ever seen on television in your life. It's not even close.
It's great.
The fact that it's the same, unlike all of the other majors in professional golf, it's at the same place every single year. So you can describe the holes. You know the holes. You remember moments at all of these holes, Tiger Woods moments, Mickelson moments, Rahm moments, all of these great players in the history, Jack Nicklaus in '86. I mean, there are iconic moments that are attached to this particular golf course in Georgia that's incredible. And the best golfers in the world at this amazing course that's not going to beat them up like a U.S. Open, right? Where I'm not going to watch them have to keep hacking it out of rough. They actually can make birdies and eagles.
Yeah.
I get it's niche. Golf is not, but the Masters transcends golf. You get regular sports fans, non-golf fans, who watch the Masters every single year.
No, it has good numbers even now.
Yeah.
It has good numbers. The Masters is number 1 golf. It's golf. And speaking of not knowing it, speaking of fizzling out, you're heading into Sunday, you got Jimmy Lipper. I don't even know where this guy came from. I don't know who this guy is, and all of a sudden he's at the top of the leaderboard?
That's so rare that an unknown...
I've seen it a lot.
That's very rare for unknowns to be at the top of the Masters leaderboard.
There's a lot of unknowns outside of Rory McIlroy. I hate to tell you, but there's a lot of unknowns. But you're a golfer. I knew it was coming. I mean, speaking of this, I mean, he thinks he could be a pro on a hole. So I knew he would. Could you do that down to the Masters? Take a hole. Let's put you on 18. Could you beat a golfer in one round there? Could you do that?
Am I playing from the same tees as they're playing?
Oh, of course.
Then no. No, that course is way too long for me.
But on a regular course across South Dakota, you could line up against Rory, and you would beat him.
One
on
hole
one
out of the 18? Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Oh.
And I've told this story because, you know, you bring it up often enough on the radio. I tell this story to my friends at Arrowhead, where I'm a member at the club there, and they all agree with me. And they've watched me play, so it's not like they think, like, oh, he's such an amazing player. They just think that one hole, the pro is just not going to put it in the right spot, make a mistake, lip out a putt, and all I have to do is beat him.
I'm not surprised by that because golfers think they're really good. I mean, that's the thing. And then you go watch a pro, they're really, really good. All right, we're not going to get into that again. Okay, that's your top 3. Opening day Major League Baseball, March Madness, and you put the Masters over March Madness. We have some listener texts coming in. You forgot about the WNBA. I'm a WNBA fan now with Caitlin Clark. It's not quite my top 3, but I do enjoy it. It did keep summer very interesting for us. Listener text, the Masters. Somebody else went the Masters. College World Series.
Yeah.
That's more summer. That ends
June.
That ends a little later there. Let's see. Listener text, Nate, half of the NFL draft analysts blow their sure bet picks. Kuiper famously said he would quit his job if Jimmy Clausen wouldn't be a Hall of Famer. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
That's a good line.
Yeah, but it is
good line.
And the texter there is right. It is a bit of a crapshoot, right? Even for these guys who are watching tape all day long for months upon months upon months, they get them wrong a lot.
I love the NFL draft, and I think prime time you're going to be watching. I hate to tell you, Rob Kegron, you're going to be really interested on NFL draft night with your Giants at number 3. You're going to be the most interested you've been. As a matter of fact, who ends up as the Giants QB and all of these other guys, where do they end up going? We're going to play this next. And I got a brand new theme song that I'm going to play for you. The NFL QB Carousel. Where do we think Sam Darnold goes? Aaron Rodgers. I want to know, where should these guys end up? Where should they end up next?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Pre-owned vehicles are Honda True Certified Pre-Owned, and the only place to find them is at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda. Honda True Certified are protected by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage and 2-year non-powertrain coverage. All are thoroughly inspected and include 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and a 7-day exchange. Check out our selection at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
We're talking with Britt Wicked at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Britt, one of the injuries we hear a lot about in sports, an ACL tear. You can't prevent all injuries, but good sports performance training could help.
Yeah, Nate, one of the things that a lot of good sports performance training focuses on is trying to not only prepare athletes for the field of sport, but also try to mitigate their risk to sustain an injury. Unfortunately, things happen in sport. If anybody ever does experience an ACL tear, that results in needing surgery to fix that. It's important to have a therapist on your side who can help them through prehab, rehab, and then return to sport. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time to get back to the field of sport, but it's not impossible to do it all by any means. So just having that end goal in mind can be really beneficial for the rehab process.
When it comes to ACLs and sports performance training and treatment, get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Thursday edition of the program is always Happy Hour, second hour with Rob Kegron live in studio on The Nate Brown Show. Happy Hour presented by the Skybox, Rapid City's #1 sports bar. If you want to watch the games, you want the great Firehouse beers, that's what I like. Okay, just my favorites. The burgers, the great food. It's at the Skybox, right above the Firehouse, downtown Main Street. As a matter of fact, I didn't forget this. We do this NFL stuff. We do these fun bets on the show. Rob Kegron still owes me he owes me something from the Fire, like food from the NFL season. You remember this?
No, I don't remember at all. What did we bet on?
Yeah, we bet on something, and I'll go to Matt Kearney. He's the pro around here, producer of the Nate Brown Show. And he remembers this, so I'm going to get some great food from the Firehouse.
You got it. I'll honor any bet I lost, but I'd like to have Matt verify that because I necessarily trust you on that.
It is true. So are you ready? Let's do this now. Speaking of the NFL and some fun, Rob Kegron's New York Giants. He's a New York City guy. His New York Giants, they need a quarterback. You said you didn't want him to go draft a quarterback. So I thought let's play the QB carousel. Where do these quarterbacks end up? Where do these guys end up? Including, we'll start with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I got some new music for everybody tonight. Do you remember this stuff? Aaron Rodgers, Rob Kegron. This has been thrown out since the last time you were here last week. Aaron Rodgers, the Giants may try and woo him to bring him in, and they still might draft Cam Ward if they can get him. So then you'd have Aaron Rodgers. Don't throw Cam Ward right in. Do you like this? Aaron Rodgers to the Giants.
Well, the Giants made a really big push at the end of last week to get Stafford, right? It was very clear.
Yep.
They were going to pay him like $55 million a year for the next couple of years to be their quarterback. And I think Rodgers would have gone to the Rams if that had happened. If the Giants could have made that deal happen, Rodgers would have been a natural fit with McVay in California. The fact that they couldn't make that work, and Stafford stayed with the Rams. I do think Rodgers stays in New York.
Oh, boy.
I think he stays in New York.
This is a perfect
But where else is he going to go other than the Raiders? I could see the Raiders giving him a shot. But short of that, I think he'll see it as, I get to stay in New York. I'm still in the limelight. There was a lot of expectation when he went to the Jets. Let's be fair, right? They thought...
From you, I know.
Most people. Remember, you're only thinking of it this year, but last year he got hurt on the fourth play of the season.
This might have been how I won that bet, the Aaron Rodgers bet. It might have been.
It could be. They had such high expectations for him. He comes to the Giants now after a couple years with the Jets. There's no expectation. He gives us a level of credibility because he's better than anything we've put on the field in a number of years. And I would think he's a stopgap. A year or two, if they draft a Cam Ward or if they draft someone in the second or third round.
So you want
to develop that.
You want this.
I don't know what our other options are at this point.
I think this would be an absolute joy for 2025 when Rob Kegron's in this studio every Thursday with Aaron Rodgers as the Giants QB. So I want it too. This is what I want. This would be a beautiful thing. Aaron Rodgers to the Giants. It may happen. That would be something.
Yep.
And you would be excited. You would be ready to go because you didn't like the Jets. You're a Giants guy. You were trying to sell me on the Jets. I thought, he's a hat rack. It's over. And I was right. But you think he's going to come back?
If Rodgers has anything left, and he'll bring Devontae with him, we can guarantee that.
Oh, boy.
And you have Devontae on one side and Malik Neighbors on the other.
Oh, boy.
I give ourselves, again, we're not going to win anything, but 7-8 wins.
Okay, Sam Darnold's the next guy, Rob Kegron's favorite quarterback. So I'm trying to get some respect for Sam. You guys are trying to throw him out. You're trying to throw him to the side. Have you ever done this with a guy who's had 35 touchdown passes? I'd like to remember. Why are you doing this to him?
Well, you say you guys as if I'm like this, like I got a little posse, a little gang out back behind the studio ready
to.
to.
The national media, you don't like him. He had 35 touchdowns.
How about we look to the organization first? It is not as if Minnesota is banging down his door trying to give him a contract right now.
I think they are.
They're not tagged. They didn't tag him.
No, but they wanted about $25-30 million.
He's going to get more than that.
Little discount.
He's going to get more than that, and he's going to get a chance to start somewhere, which he's not going to get in Minnesota. So you want to get on me and the national media for throwing Darnold out with the dishwater. The Vikings are doing it themselves.
They're looking at bringing him back. He's going to start.
He is not going.
Start.
He's not staying in Minnesota. He's going to have an opportunity to start.
Where's he going?
But it will be another dome team, the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, you throw him there.
To go against Anthony Richardson. Yeah, because Richardson has shown nothing. And if you put Darnold in training camp against Richardson, maybe it gives Richardson a chance to really step back and figure things out for a little while. The guy had played so little in college football. For him to be even a starter when they drafted him, I thought was crazy. You put a guy like Darnold in there, give Darnold a year or two and see if Richardson develops, I could see them doing that.
So you go Sam Darnold to the Colts. I'm going to go Sam Darnold to the Vikings.
Wow. He's not starting, Nate.
They're going to bring him
starting.
back. He'll be starting. It's going to be a little iffy because the Vikings fans are going to be screaming for JJ, and they're going to say, Sam, what are you doing? Well, I'm just getting you more wins. Remember 14 last year, so we're going to win.
Not when they needed it.
$25 million. We'll get a discount. Short-term deal. Sam coming back to the Vikes, and I like it. I'm with 2.2% of fans that like that. Here's this one. Russell Wilson. Russell in Pittsburgh is done. They're not saying it yet, but Russell in Pittsburgh's done. Is he going to go to the Raiders with Pete Carroll? Are they going to revive that? I can't quite figure it out. I'm going to say Sam Darnold to the Vikes. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam maybe went to the Raiders. Then that leaves Russell in a spot. I hate to tell you, if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, your New York Giants could look at Russell coming in for a lot, not much money.
Yeah, and the Giants have looked at him before, so I would not be shocked if Russell, if we didn't go with the Rodgers path, I would not be shocked if we went to Wilson. I think Wilson's going with the Raiders. I think he's going to go.
Do.
I think Pete and him have patched things up enough where they feel like he gives them an opportunity to win. I don't know about in that division. That would be the toughest part. Going back into the AFC West where he spent a couple of years with your Broncos. Going back in there would be very tough, but I think it makes sense for him to pair back up with Pete Carroll, who he had a lot of success with.
Russell Wilson, you going to the Raiders. That wouldn't surprise me. Last one. Kirk Cousins is going to be way too expensive for the Falcons to just sit down there. Michael Penix is going to start, and Kirk's just going to sit there like a hat rack. Kirk's going to go somewhere. He's going to do like the Russell thing. Some teams are going to be able to get him on a veteran minimum. The Falcons are paying his contract, so Kirk's going to end up with the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. Do you believe that?
Completely agree with you. That's what I wrote down. I absolutely think he's going to the Browns.
The Browns.
Deshaun is, God knows when he's going to come back. I mean, he's hurt to the point where he hasn't been any good anyway, but he's definitely hurt, and I think he'd probably likely be out this entire year. I think Cousins gives you, if Cousins is healthy, I think he gives you a year or two where you're respectable, where he gives you enough opportunity to win.
Kirk Cousins in Cleveland, is that going to be a good thing? That was a bad thing in Atlanta, but they did say he was banged up.
Yep.
They said he was injured a lot. Kirk in Cleveland, that doesn't seem like the right ending of a career. All you guys hated Kirk, too. It's like nobody likes Sam Darnold. Nobody likes Kirk Cousins. Who do the Vikings fans like?
The other thing with Cousins there is Stefanski, right? And he has a relationship with Stefanski, so that's another reason why I could see that happening.
Myles Garrett's going to want to get traded even more. We'll see where it goes. By the way, I've got something here. LeBron James, I started my show with this, hits 50,000 points. I think it's undervalued. And I wonder, how do we view pro athletes today? Let's wrap up the show with that.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Fish Motors. Save up to $6,250 on 2025 GMC Sierra Light Duty, or choose finance rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months. Save up to $2,750 on select GMC Sierra HDs. Plus, we've received truckloads of new GMC inventory. Check out a great selection of the all-new Acadia, Terrain, and Canyon. Hurry in today before the March savings drive away.
Online always at spearfishmotors.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A winter weather advisory continues until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. A winter storm warning continues until 8 a.m. tomorrow. Snow heavy at times likely tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows dip down to about 21. Northerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. About an inch of snow tonight. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 24 degrees.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Playoff coverage of high school girls basketball takes place Friday on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Rapid City Stevens Raiders hope to make their 12th straight state tournament appearance as they host the Huron Tigers in a Sodak 16 game Friday at Carroll Higher Gym. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show at 5:45, followed by the tip-off at 6. Catch the Raiders and the Tigers in a Sodak 16 AA showdown Friday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, weekday afternoon drive. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. If you missed parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We'll put it up tonight. Every show is there. Every guest all week long. So the Nate Brown Show podcast, from high school to college to the pros. We don't repeat stuff. Try and give you new stuff each time out. So you've got all the guests, all the shows. The Nate Brown Show podcast. Search for it and download it. The Nate Brown Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts. It is Happy Hour tonight, Thursday edition with Rob Kagron, live in studio, presented by Rapid City's premier sports bar, the Skybox, downtown Main Street, right above the Firehouse. Head up to the Skybox, watch the big games, enjoy yourself. It's a great place to watch. So here it is. We'll wrap up the show with this. I started the show with it, and I'll wrap it up with this. LeBron James hits 50,000 points. And so you heard about it. People said it. People talked about it a little bit. LeBron fatigue is real. LeBron is polarizing. There's a whole host of people that say, I don't care about LeBron James. I just said, can we stop? I mean, the world is negative. I mean, we like picking things apart. I do a 2-hour show. It happens. 50,000 points. There's nobody even close. I mean, there's nobody even close. Well, he's played 22 years. There's no defense anymore. All of that stuff. So I know all of the arguments, but 50,000 points, and I still feel like we downplay it. I'll always be a Jordan guy. You are too. You're a Jordan guy.
Absolutely.
We'll always be a Jordan guy. So I'm not a LeBron is king of everything guy. But I wonder, what is our main viewpoints of pro athletes today? And I threw out some options, Rob, to the audience. I just wanted to see what people said. It was a little case study on the Nate Brown Show tonight. What's your main viewpoint? First thing that pops in your mind, pro athlete, what do you think? 44%, the winning vote, entitled. 44%. And I knew something like that would happen. And I think the social media world and the negativity downplays, hey, LeBron hit 50,000 points, and a whole host of folks go, who gives a rip?
Yeah, and I get the entitled part. The one thing I would say, Nate, is that LeBron doesn't fit that category, right? There are a lot of modern athletes who do. I'm not saying that there's not a level of entitlement to LeBron James.
No, yeah, right.
But that's not the first thing. First thing I think of with a lot of athletes is entitled, not LeBron James, right? I mean, to me, the 50,000 thing, yeah, he's played forever. But that shouldn't be held against him, right? Like, that's a level of durability, right? He hasn't had a whole lot of injuries in his career, right?
No.
Now, he doesn't play 82 games like Jordan does, but he's played a lot of seasons in the 70s, right? A lot of seasons where he played 72, 75, 76. I don't think he's ever played 82. I can't remember.
But nobody does.
Nobody does anymore, for sure not. But he plays a ton of games. But to me, forget about the durability, which is, I think, a huge thing, right? Like, you have to be available for your team, right, to be able to succeed. And think about how many guys that we can think of with great talent. The one that comes to my mind all the time is Kawhi, right? Kawhi is uber talented, never healthy. He's always hurt. You could say the same thing about Durant. Durant has been hurt plenty of times as well. But the drive, right? Like the drive that LeBron has at his age, that he's in the gym on a daily basis in the offseason to condition his 40-year-old body to be ready to withstand the test of an NBA season. And you alluded to it. It's not nowhere near as physical as it was when we were growing up. Certainly not the league that Jordan played in. But he's 40 years old, and he's running up and down an NBA basketball court against athletes who are faster, quicker, sometimes
20 years younger.
Yeah. Have more.
I mean, he's still top tier. That's the difference.
He's top 10 player in the league still.
Jordan went out old.
Yeah, he did.
LeBron is top tier. To me, LeBron wins that category. I'll always be a Jordan guy. You can go over the stats, you can go over the championships, all of that stuff. But he's still top tier, and 50,000 points. It's not like he's just limping along.
No, and he's still, this year, I think he's still averaging 24 points a game.
It's really
40 years old.
I mean, I think we tend to devalue stuff because personality, what he says, what he's done, that hurts current athletes to me, including LeBron.
Yeah, it sure does. But to me, LeBron transcends a lot of that because of how driven he is to still succeed.
Good stuff tonight. By the way, the number one vote entitled, 44% say number one viewpoint, pro athletes today. You say entitled. 25% say not tough enough. That
doesn't apply to LeBron either.
Soft. 24% do think, the first thing they think, 24% best athletes we've ever seen. 7% today's athletes more engaging. So, best athletes we've ever seen, that's not an argument either. I mean, they are, whether we like it or not, some of us old guys. For Rob Kagron, it's Nate Brown. The Nate Brown Show podcast is getting set to go. Remember, all of the great guests from high school to college to the pros, all in the podcast. We'll watch the Summit League, and we'll be back here next Monday seeing how things turn out. Thanks for listening. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Our locally owned Ace